All right, so
if I get your
little thing here. We got two things here. Nick tweaked his ankle a hair last night, but would have practiced. But he's got a big test tonight, as one guy came late that had one earlier. Tomorrow's our big day, so we're off tomorrow. And then Friday we get to go to work. This is a difficult time with exams, man, for everybody. It's, you know, I didn't think we were very good today. And we went 2 days of just kind of refreshing ourselves on things. Today was supposed to be the day to get after it a little bit. We were okay, but you know, guys, I guess they are tired from finals. I don't know, something you would know nothing about, so I'll leave it up to them.
You mentioned these next 2 weeks were going to be a lot about the freshmen, so you haven't had a ton of practice, but are they getting the emphasis that they have your attention?
They're going to have my attention. I'm just waiting. You know, they're also struggling because they've never gone through finals. For some of those guys, you know, the world just caved in on them. But from Friday to Friday, freshmen are going to have my attention, but so are the sophomores and juniors. We have to get some practice in. I just told them in there, you know, don't feel sorry for yourselves, because we're supposed to go a little harder on it on your day that we can, because we haven't practiced hard. You know, again, it's nobody's fault. There's just too much time. I just talked to Mark Few today, and he said, you know, I did more what you did. I played a tougher schedule because they're conferences, but I had no practice time. And I said, yeah, that's the problem. So, I don't know, maybe it'll be more reasons to try to span out that period. You know, 16, 6 games, 21 in 3 games. You know, as we said in the press conference, neither one of them are good for you, so there's got to be a little more balance. And some of it's us, but some of it is people that are making decisions that are clueless.
So Nick is in no danger for Sunday.
No.
He's all right. What about McQuaid have you seen from him?
You know,
in terms of back?
as he said to me, I mean, his leg is now fine, but his conditioning isn't great. But it ain't bad, you know. But I think, you know, the first day he felt good. Now the fatigue sets in a little bit as he goes day after day. So what we got to do at McQuaid is get him through this weekend, and I think the situation of not playing for a week really works his advantage. We'll be able to get him in shape and feel a little more comfortable. His shot was a little short. The first couple days he shot the hell out of it, but now I think the fatigue is setting in. He's not in great shape, but it's not like he's in terrible shape, so I don't see any problem.
Can you explain what Doug Crowley's been as recruiting coordinator and why you decided to add that role?
Well, what happens is they changed our rules a lot, and one of the big things they've done is they've added this juniors you make visits on, and if you don't bring a junior in, then it's like you don't want them. Mm-hmm. So we have to start evaluating a lot earlier. So now we're going to do a lot more with, he's going to coordinate kind of like football video, put together video as freshmen and sophomores that we can look at, we can make more decisions instead of just taking kids in. And it's a bigger animal than you would think it is. And so I think it's hard when my assistants are still working on this year's and then they're trying to coach the team, especially the stretch we went through. And so, you know, football's gone to this a lot. Some basketball teams are going to it. And I think for once we got out on the front end of it instead of the back end.
They can help having a guy that I think would know your program pretty well and probably know what type of kid
you're looking for. That's better too, that he's been there and he's been a head coach. So, I mean, that's a great asset for us to sit back in his cave and look at a lot of different film. And then, like 2 days ago, brought me some film. I decided to go somewhere and look at a guy, and that's what we'll do with this.
You look kind of a frustrating week for you.
Yeah,
I mean, recruit, you can't get a good practice in.
Yeah, and it is kind of frustrating. I mean, what really has frustrated me this week is I think our guys haven't been used to getting after it in practice because we haven't had that for a month. So I'm living for Monday.
Jimmy Boylan used to teach it in the NBA. For every game you missed injured, it takes that many to get back. And he said it isn't practice, it's getting game condition. Where you only have 3 and 21, is it hard to get McQuaid back because of those 3? or is it just not enough to really matter?
I think he's an experienced guy. If that was a freshman, I'd be worried about it more, but I think he's experienced enough. I don't see that as any problem. I really think this is going to benefit us. I mean, I don't like 3 and 20 days, whatever it is. I don't like that, but I do like that we're going to get some time to really work on some stuff, the zone stuff, the press breakers, the out-of-bounds plays, the things that you've kind of haven't been able to work on a lot lately. So I think this year it's going to be pretty good for us. But as always, you're talking about something that I don't think we've ever done this. It's a few games in so many days. So if it doesn't go good, you always.
When you look at those guys, you got McQuaid, Kyle, and Kenny. They're veterans, but they've also been through some pretty significant injuries.
Yeah.
What do you see from them mentally now that they're healthy pretty much and can do these?
Well, they're excited. I mean, they really are. I mean, those 3 guys have been through it, and when somebody else gets a tweak here and there, I just say, ask Kenny what it's like, or ask Cueto what it's like, but they're excited about feeling good too, having a whole summer to do something. And it sounds crazy, but Arnie, what Kyle has gone through, that has been a big positive. I mean, we're in a good place in a lot of ways. I mean, our team has played good enough to win even more games than we won. We've been really realizing that the turnovers can really make a difference. Other things we'll get to work on, and when we have 2-a-days next week, will be free throw shooting. Make sure we get that up into the mid-70s where I think it belongs with this team. So I think we're really been in a pretty good place. Guys have been great. I just want more out of this period because I know once January comes, it's every 3 days. And there'll be numbers.
When it comes to Josh, have you seen a difference in him in terms of, I know you want more consistency all the time, but when games are on the line and you need someone to kind of start taking the shots, he seems like he wants.
He does want the ball, and I tell Cash it's the same thing, that he's got to be even more that way. Those 2 guys got to want the ball at the end of the game. So, but I've seen that with Josh. I've seen him become a better rebounder, be more aggressive. I think with everybody, I got to keep pushing Cassius to defend and push the ball at a level. A team presses us for 2 minutes, we quit pushing the ball. You can't do that. With Josh, I think, there's a couple times early in games when maybe the shot selection's got to improve a little bit. I think he knows it. And I try to tell both of them, if we wouldn't turn the damn ball over, everybody's going to get more shots. Everybody's going to be, because instead of 58 or 9 shots, we get 65 like we're doing for a while, and that would be very big. But we're in a lot better position than some. I watch the Palestra. Did you watch the Palestra last night?
Damn right.
I figured you were salivating just because that was on TV, but tough game for Billy, and everybody's going through it. So I said we've at least found a way to win most of them that we've played.
You've had so many big games, and now you're coming off finals. Do you worry about focus for a game like this Sunday?
I do a little bit. I think we're going to find out if the maturity of this team is there. That this team is a team that has enough veterans now and enough juniors and seniors that they should be excited to play in these kind of games too. And that was the difference between the Cleves' teams, the Skiles' teams, the Draymond teams, or even the Valentine teams. Do you want to play as good as you can play in every game? Do you want to take, or do you want to take some days off? And I don't know why you'd ever take a game off, but it happens a lot.
With those freshmen, it used to be a natural shifting of gears to go from non-conference to Big Ten. Is that middle thing kind of interrupt that? Because usually you'd be able to kind of kick them in the tail here and get, this is what you got to do and understand for Big Ten. Now they kind of got a little taste of it.
I think that should help us. They didn't play as much in some of those because of a number of those games in a short period of time.
But it kind of becomes like an 18-game schedule for them in a lot of ways.
It does. But I do think at least they've sat there and watched. They've seen, physical it is out at Rutgers, or or what can happen. They've seen what happens when you turn it over and you make mistakes against Kansas. So they mentally seen it. I don't know if they've physically as much, but I do think that's going to benefit them some. But I don't think anything will benefit like the next week and a half of practice. I really don't. You know, we just got to find a way to make it that way. Because I know there's not a guy in America that'd rather practice. There's probably not a coach in America that wouldn't rather practice than play games, you know, so it works both ways. But I'm aware of that. I've got to do a good job of selling why this is going to be important and why once the Big Ten starts, you're not getting many days. You got to take a day off. Sometimes you got 3 days, you got to take one of them off. You might have 2 days, some days you might have 1 day prep, and so you got to get a lot done right now. It's gotten almost like the NBA where they get all their stuff in 6-day period, and then it's going to carry them throughout the season.
Is there your name in the mix for the Packers job? Or?
Like to. I do. That'd be a good idea. Well, hell, if Condoleezza Rice can, I think I got for one of those. I think I got a shot, wouldn't you?
I would think so.
No insult, Condoleezza, but I'm just saying I wasn't on the committee, but I got a lot of good football. I can call a lot of good plays. Maybe coordinator up at Minnesota. I don't know.
A lot of openings.
A lot of openings. Isn't that a shame? No.
I figured for your Packers you'd be fighting out.
I know, my Packers. Feel bad for them. Feel bad for my Lions. I think I'm over football as far as Pro Bowl.
The Browns in the mix.
With the number of practices, the limited number of practices you've had the last few weeks, do you have to practice differently in those practices? You can't be as demanding, and now that it's cleared up, can you be more demanding now, or is it always
Well, that's what I was
demanding?
disappointed about today. I felt like I had to artificially motivate them. I don't think they understand. So maybe that's all part of the deal. I'm so anxious because I've never gone through that long without real practices.
Now you hit the gas a little harder in practice?
Yeah, the gas is going to, Friday we're raising it 3 levels, and Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday it's going to be raised more than that. We're going to get after it this week.
Cool.